Hey everybody, welcome back to the Armed Scotsman. Today on the table we have the Glock 43x. Let's get this one going. Folks, as I said, this is my Glock 43x. It's one of my concealed carry guns that I have in rotation. I realized I have not gone over it with you guys, so I thought I would do that today. So, we have a couple of different versions of the Glock. There is the Glock MOS and the plain Jane Glock like this. Differences are, MOS obviously has the optics cut, but the big difference for me, and I'm not sure why Glock did this, this does not have a cut here for a light. Now, this is my daily carry where I go to the store during the day if I'm going to work or something like that. So I'm not overly concerned. I have other guns for nighttime or if I'm going on longer travels or something, you know, like I'll probably take my 19. But as my, as a daily carry, just be aware that if you get the non-MOS version, there is no cut for a light, which I think is personally a little strange, but either way, but just be aware of that if you are looking at the Glock. So let's just start at the bottom. You've got your typical mag well. I did put the little, I call them butt plugs. I shouldn't, but that's what I do. It's got a little 43x on there, just fills the gap. Moving up to the grip, it's got some stippling. It is not as aggressive as on my G19. Gen 5, it is a little smoother, but again, it still feels good in my hand personally. Yeah, the texture feels good. Moving up, you do have the oversized mag release right here. Easy to manipulate, especially with the size of this pistol. I don't have to really adjust my grip to hit that button, so it works really well for me. You obviously have a trigger guard, and then you have your trigger. We are empty. The trigger, definitely nothing right home about what you'd expect with a Glock, but you got some take up. Almost feels like a kind of a defined wall, and then you've got your brake, and then you've got a bit of a let out. So a bit of a long let out. It is positive, it is tactile. Now this is a defensive gun. Now I realize, so people are like, well, it's not supposed to be, like I know, but I'm just trying to tell you guys how the trigger feels. Yes, it is a defensive carry gun, so I personally do want a heavier, longer trigger on there. That is just me. But even still, the trigger, the initial brake is not great, but it's not a fantastic trigger. It's not a terrible trigger. It's kind of in the middle, but again, for defensive purposes, it works for me. We'll go over, I'll roll in the trigger weight on the screen for you now. Moving on up, you do have obviously your lock slide release right here. It is not ambidextrous. It does sit extremely flush to the slide. Now being a carry gun, you want snag resistant and try and make it as snag resistant or snagless as possible, however you want to put that. It works really well. Even though it sits really close to the frame, I can still manipulate it just fine. I have no problems with that. Moving up, you have obviously your slide here. You do have serrations on the front and back. They're pretty grippy. They're not as deep as the 19, I would say, but they're still very grippy. Now I have put some Amir Glow night sights on here, or I guess this is blacked out, and this is the high vis front sight, and it is a night sight, but it does come with, typically will come with your Glock standard sights, which to me are absolutely garbage, so I did switch them out. Now, one of the big things that turned me off originally about the Glock 43x was their mag. It came with it comes with a 10 round mag. It just might come with more, whatever. It comes with a 10 round mag. And I was like, well, I can get P365, whatever else, maybe even smaller, but the same size guns that have larger capacities. And I was like, well, so why would I go with a 10 round? Now I realize some states, if you're, if you're limited to 10 rounds, obviously that's going to be great for you. But for me, it wasn't an option. I was like, I'm not going to take it until PSA. Now I realized Shield came out with these version first, but PSA came out with their Dagger Micro, and they came out, which is the 43x clone, but they came out with a 15 round mag, metal mag, 50% extra capacity, 10 rounds, 15 rounds. I was like, all right, and they're the exact same size, but this holds 15 rounds. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely interested in the 43x now, because for this one is unloaded also, just so you know. So now for, this is my 19, this is my 43X. 19, even it's a compact gun, it's, you know, it's more of a compact gun, it's still a lot bigger than my 43X. Now my 43X holds 15 rounds, the same as my 19. So for me, it's got great capacity now. These mags have worked great for me. They do. I'm going to keep this one out of the way because I do have this one loaded. But this is their slick finish from PSA as well. So they have two versions. They have this metal black one and a slick version. I'm going to keep this one way out the way over there. And even compared to, just give you an example. So there's the 19 mag. 43X, you can see obviously this is smaller and thinner, obviously because the Glock 43X is a slimline pistol. Now I've gone through a lot of rounds on this gun. I've had zero issues with it. It's been 100% reliable for me, hence that's why I carry it. So for the size, the weight, it's great. Same capacity as my 19, but it is a heck of a lot smaller and a heck of a lot easier to conceal for me on a daily basis. Although, as I said, I still love my 19, I still rock that, but the 43X as a daily carry is perfect for me, especially now that I can hold those 15 rounds. Like any other Glock, if you want to take this down, it's the same way. I don't really want to go do a takedown video, but you would just pull the trigger, pull back on the slide, make sure you're empty, pull your slide off, you've got your spring, your captured recoil spring in there. The barrel is 3-point-something inches, so it's a small barrel, and then you have your kind of standard Glock lower like here. You know, there is tons of aftermarket parts out for a Glock 43X. You know, if you want to upgrade that trigger to something that's a little nicer, you can do that. There is options out there. I actually do have a very cool trigger coming in for this in the near future, and I will go over that with you because I think you guys will be interested in it. But anyway, holster, I use a Tenacore holster. It's got this little kind of bulge right here. It's an appendix carry. It looks uncomfortable, let me tell you. This is the most comfortable in the appendix carry holster that I own. I absolutely love it. I bought one for my 19 as well if I want to appendix carry my holster for my 19. But 43X, Tenacore holster, excellent, excellent. I really, really like this holster a lot. Highly recommended. All right, folks, that is it for the review of the 43X. Let me know if not having a light on this, on the non-MOS version, would be a deal breaker for you. I'm really curious. Obviously, it's not for me. That's why I still have it. But I'm really curious on your thoughts on that. I mean, I can get over not having an optic. That doesn't bother me, but definitely curious on your thoughts on the no light on there. So anyway, all right, folks, that is it from me. Any questions, any comments, please ask them below. I'm always happy to help you out wherever I can. And that's it. Until next time, I'll catch you later.